Gas. Fucking gas. I'm so pissed off. I'm so pissed off.
The man widely considered the greatest UFC fighter of all time has just sent a brutal public warning to Dana White and the entire UFC organization, and the MMA world is shaking. Jon Jones recently said in public that if the Ultimate Fighting Championship believes he is already done, then they should end his contract and release him. Meanwhile, UFC President Dana White stated that Jones will not be fighting at the planned UFC event at the White House, and even suggested that he might already be retired. In response, Jones claimed that the UFC offered him a lowball deal, meaning the money offered for the fight was too low, which is why the situation between him and the UFC has become tense.
I'll tell you this, they did seriously try to have Jon Jones on this card, and they couldn't get to the number. Now, a lot of people are talking about this fight that fell through. I don't think that that's the fight that fell through last night. That's not what I was told.
So what exactly happened? How did we get here? And what does this mean for the future of Jon Jones? Let's break it all down. It all started with the UFC's Freedom 250 event, a massive historic card planned for June 14th at the White House in Washington, D.C.
Of a Twitter tirade, and then you ended up deleting them. Have you seen his comments?
No.
Or he basically very heavily pushed back on you, saying that there were no negotiations. And then
I never said there were no negotiations. I never said that. I said, were they talking to Jon Jones? They talked to everybody. Everybody was talked to. Not one word of what I said was not true about the whole Jon Jones thing. And how many times have I sat up here and said, he's not fighting at the White House?
When the fights were announced following UFC 326, fans were shocked. Jon Jones, the reigning heavyweight champion, was not on the card, not in the main event, not in the co-main, not anywhere. Dana White then stepped to the microphone and said something that lit the fuse. He said, and I quote, "Jones was never, ever, ever even remotely in his mind to fight at the White House."
It's not even about him winning the belt. You know how I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong, especially the White House card.
White went further. He brought up a video that had gone viral. Jon Jones was secretly filmed by a fan wearing Meta smart glasses, where Jones could be heard talking about serious hip problems. White said Jones had arthritis so bad that doctors were recommending a hip replacement. He pointed to a flag football game where Jones could barely run.
There is speculation, of course, that it's Jon Jones.
No, it's not.
Was Jon
Never, ever, ever, which I told you guys 100,000 times, was Jon Jones even remotely in my mind to fight at the White House. I wouldn't. First of all, I've told you why I wouldn't do it. And number two, some guy with, Meta glasses on filmed him talking about his hips, that his hips are so bad. And I don't know if you guys saw that flag football game where he can barely run. Jon Jones, he retired because of his hips. He's got arthritis in his hips.
Jones did not stay silent. First, he posted and deleted several tweets on Sunday pushing back. Then, on Monday afternoon, he came back with a full composed statement. And this time, he left nothing out. Jones said his team was in real negotiations with the UFC for the White House fight. He said he even came down from his original asking price. And what did the UFC offer him in return? He said he was lowballed.
I feel freaking tremendous. I'm training constantly. The brand's in a great place. They're doing really cool things, cool people like yourself. And I'm just happy to be here.
Are you going to be a part of this White House card?
I don't know. I'm definitely training constantly for the opportunity. My goal is to just show Dana how serious I am about being in the event, and I hope he chooses me. But ultimately, it's in his hands. He's the boss.
It's got to be a good sign that you're here, though. Like with CBS and Paramount Plus and this big UFC deal, I feel like if you weren't in everyone's good graces right now, I probably wouldn't be talking to you, right?
Exactly. It's a great sign that I'm not only here, but a part of the production and part of the
Jones addressed the hip situation directly and powerfully. He said yes, he has arthritis, and yes, it is painful, but that does not mean he cannot fight. And here is the part that really landed. He said, if he had accepted the lowball offer, suddenly his hip would have been fine and he would have been on the White House card? That makes no sense.
Jon Jones is going to fight again. Well, let me give you a clue. He's not going to fight in 2026. And it's not an opportunity of going, hey, I changed my mind. Look, it's all cool in the gang. You know, we rethought this and I came in a little bit strong and the model has changed and I'm good for the fight with Tom. It's not an option.
Jones also revealed that just last week, he received stem cell treatment to get his hip ready to compete. He said his training camp was literally scheduled to begin on March 9th, the same day he posted this message. He was preparing, he was ready to fight. And then he dropped the biggest line of all. He said that as recently as Friday, just days before his statement, the UFC was still calling him trying to get him on the White House card, but for an even lower number than before. Think about that for a second. The UFC publicly said Jones was never in the picture, yet their own people were on the phone with his team on Friday trying to make the fight happen at a cheaper price. That contradiction is exactly what Jones wanted the world to see. Jones ended his statement with an ultimatum that sent shockwaves through the entire MMA community. He said, after everything he has given to the UFC, the years, the title defenses, the fights, hearing that he is done is deeply disappointing. And then he said it plainly. If the UFC truly feels like he is done, he is respectfully asking to be released from his contract. This is not a small moment. Jon Jones asking for his release from the UFC is one of the biggest stories in combat sports history. This is the greatest fighter of all time. A man with a 28-1 record, with his only loss coming by disqualification, saying he is done being treated this way. It is worth remembering what Jones has actually built inside that octagon. 20 consecutive wins, the youngest UFC champion ever, victories over Lyoto Machida, Mauricio Rua, Alexander Gustafsson, Daniel Cormier twice, and most recently Stipe Miocic. His resume is untouchable, and he knows it. The UFC has not publicly responded. Now let's talk about what is really behind all of this, the money. According to sources close to the situation, Jones was looking for a number in the range of around $30 million, similar to what he was reportedly offered to fight Tom Aspinall last year, a deal he turned down. The UFC came back with a number much closer to what Conor McGregor's opponent Ben received, reportedly around $15 million. That was their benchmark. Jones said no. Negotiations broke down, and the UFC moved on. Now here's where the analysis gets interesting. People close to the situation have pointed out, if Jon Jones could not get his number for the biggest show in UFC history at the White House, he is not going to get it for a smaller show. If he could not get the main event at the most historic card ever, he will not get it anywhere else. That is a cold, hard truth, and it raises a very serious question. Is this actually the end of Jon Jones in the UFC? One analyst put it perfectly. Jon Jones is so great that the sport itself does not have room for him anymore. You cannot put him against a number 5 or number 6 ranked fighter. He has to fight for a belt. But the belt situation is a mess, and Jones is 38 years old, dealing with real health issues. The window is closing, if it is not already closed. Jon Jones sent a brutal warning to Dana White and the UFC, and the entire combat sports world heard it. He says he was lowballed. He says he was lied about. He says he was ready to fight. And he says, if you think I am done, then prove it. Release me. Whether the UFC grants that release.
What were you saying, Bill?
His old teammate just won the the heavyweight world championship from catch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be a really good jiu-jitsu partner for him. He's got good submissions. He was a 197.
Nice. 150. Yeah, that same combo. Nice. Dipping jack and right. And from inside leg kick. On the back side, inside leg kick. Aye. A little higher. 3. Nice. Get the shot. Again. Hold on. Bro. Check this out. Let's see. 6-7. Stop. Spin. Hey! Power kick inside. Hey! Spin.
Jon Jones and Gable Steveson, training together, grinding together. Two of the greatest wrestlers on the planet locked in the gym working on something Big E. But here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't just regular training. Jon Jones is downloading everything he knows about Tom Aspinall directly into Gable Steveson's brain. While the entire MMA world screams that Jon Jones is scared of Tom Aspinall, while Twitter erupts with accusations of ducking, Jones is playing a completely different game. He's not running, he's building a weapon specifically designed to exploit every single weakness Tom Aspinall has. It started with social media posts that seemed innocent enough. Jon Jones training with Gable Steveson, working wrestling, working striking, standard training partner stuff, right? Wrong. Look closer at these sessions. Jones isn't just drilling techniques, he's teaching specific setups, specific reactions, specific game plans. In one Instagram post, Jones wrote, "Great weekend with Gable. He's leveling up extraordinarily fast. Teaching is a martial art of its own, and I'm still learning it. Won't be long now until we're standing there with the new heavyweight champion of the world. The new heavyweight champion of the world. And right now there's only one name that matters in the heavyweight division, Tom Aspinall." For those who don't know, let me catch you up. Gable Steveson is a 25-year-old Olympic gold medalist, two-time NCAA champion, and an absolute monster of an athlete. He's 2-0 MMA with 2 devastating knockouts that took a combined 2 minutes. In his dirty boxing debut, a brutal 15-second destruction. This kid is the real deal. And now he has Jon Jones, arguably the greatest fighter of all time, with the highest fight IQ in MMA history, as his personal coach, mentor, and strategist. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about making Gable better. This is about making Gable the perfect counter to one specific fighter.
This action. Gable Steveson dropping major bombs. Huge shots. Braden Peterson hanging on, but for how long?
Gable in the mouth, raining punches. Vicious.
Pounding and pounding vicious shots.
Peterson needs to try to defend himself, or they're going to stop this fight.
The legacy of Gable Steveson in MMA begins.
Let's address the elephant in the room. The MMA world has been brutal to Jon Jones lately. Jon Jones is terrified of Tom Aspinall. Bones is ducking the real champion. He knows he can't handle Tom's speed. The unified heavyweight title fight we all wanted fell through last year, and fans have been relentless ever since. But here's what everyone's missing. Jon Jones isn't scared. Jon Jones is calculating. He's doing what he's always done, playing chess while everyone else plays checkers. And Gable Steveson, he's the knight that nobody saw coming.
Gable has everything that it takes. One of my teammates got injured sparring with me, and Gable was like, I'll go in. I'm like, Gable, you might want to learn how to block and, defend yourself first. It can be a lot more difficult than what it seems. But that let me at that moment know that he is very game. I need him in the face at one of his very first practices. He ate it, and he looked like a little kid, like he just developed a new toy. It's not a matter of if he'll become a UFC champion, it's when he'll be a UFC champion.
Now, to understand the full picture, we need to talk about the history between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. This beef didn't start yesterday. It goes back to when Aspinall first became interim champion. Jones immediately dismissed him, saying the interim title didn't mean anything. He focused on Stipe Miocic instead, calling that the legacy fight. Aspinall fired back, calling Jones out publicly, saying he was cherry-picking opponents and avoiding the real challenge.
John Jones is probably watching this, so send him a message.
Hello, John. I have nothing against you personally, but I just think I'm better than you. I just know that I can beat you in a fight. So I'm coming for it.
The Twitter exchanges got heated. Aspinall questioned Jones's heart. Jones questioned Aspinall's credentials. Back and forth, back and forth. Then when the unified title fight was supposed to happen, Jones pulled out due to injury concerns and retirement talk. Aspinall went off, basically calling Jones a coward who's protecting his legacy instead of fighting the best.
Just say hello. Just say hello.
How are you? Good, man. Nice to meet you too.
I
would hope so. I would hope so. All the best. All the best. Sure. Let's get it.
Dana White tried to make the fight happen multiple times. The fans demanded it. But Jones kept pivoting, kept stalling, kept finding reasons not to sign. And with each passing month, the narrative grew stronger. John Jones is scared to Tom Aspinall. But here's the thing about John Jones. He's never been scared of anyone in his entire career. He's beaten every type of fighter imaginable. Wrestlers, strikers, brawlers, technicians, everyone. So why would he suddenly be scared now? He's playing a completely different game.
Instead of being stationary and standing, you step forward.
It's two different. Right.
This is where John Jones' genius comes into play. While everyone's focused on whether or not Jones will fight Aspinall, Jones is in the lab studying tape, breaking down Aspinall's game like a surgeon. Matt Brown, a UFC veteran with years of experience, said it himself on his podcast. I'd pick Gable Steveson to beat Tom Aspinall today. Aspinall's best chance would probably be submission. Think about that. A UFC legend is saying that Gable, with only 2 pro fights, could beat the most dangerous heavyweight in the world right now. Why? Because he has the physical tools, the wrestling pedigree, and now John Jones' master plan.
He could be champion literally today. I think if he went in and fought Tom Aspinall or Cyril Gahn or, whoever was a champion, I don't think there's a chance anyone has against him. I mean, obviously you always have a chance in MMA, but I think he could be champion tomorrow. I'd pick him to beat the champion today, keeping it real.
Yeah, I mean, he's a monster, and so yeah.
I wouldn't put my money against it if they fought tomorrow.
Now, Tom Aspinall isn't stupid. He sees what's happening, and he's not happy about it. Recently, Aspinall took to Twitter with a message that set the MMA world on fire. I see what you're doing, John. Training your boy to fight your battles? Real champions don't hide behind prospects. Real champions step in the cage themselves. If Gable wants it, he can get it too. But you and I both know who the real fight is. Stop playing chess and be a man. Ducking season is over.
Since I won that fight, he's gone completely quiet. And he'll continue to go completely quiet about me until he retires, because there's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire John Jones without even fighting him.
I'm not really sure how to engage with the eye talk on Tom Aspinall, but I think he's a fantastic fighter.
What do you mean by engage with the eye talk?
I feel like getting poked in the eye sucks, but I'm just gonna stay in the middle ground. I think Tom's a fantastic fighter. Cyril is great also, and I think a lot of them are also great. When I see Tom Aspinall, Tom Aspinall reminds me of a guy from Turkey that I wrestled in the Olympics. He was a 2016 Olympic champ. His name's Taha Akgul. He was 6'4", same size as Tom, same build, same everything. And I went out there and I beat him 8-0, and I was in his face for that 6 minutes, and I let him know that I was here. And I feel like with a guy like Tom, I think I look at him as like a guy like Taha Akgul. He's on top, he's the leader, he's still fresh, but I think there's another hungry guy that's gonna come, and hopefully it's me that's gonna come and go out there and do what I need to do.
He could be champion literally today. I think if he went in and fought Tom Aspinall or Cyril Gahn or whoever was a champion, I don't think there's a chance anyone has against him. I mean, obviously you always have a chance in MMA, but I think he could be champion tomorrow. I'd pick him to beat the champion today, keeping it real.
Yeah, I mean, he's a monster, and so yeah.
I wouldn't put my money against it if they fought tomorrow.
Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson just dropped a massive bombshell about UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall, claiming he could beat him easily if he joined the UFC. But here's where it gets crazy. UFC legend Matt Brown is actually backing him up, while Brendan Schaub is sounding the alarm bells about Stevenson's controversial mentor choice. And Tom Aspinall? Well, he's got something to say about all of this on Twitter.
Who are your first 3 fights that you'd like to see?
Personally, who would I like to go against?
Yeah.
When John finally hangs it up, the next best guy in line is Tom Aspinall. Someone got to take that off his shoulder. You always want to go against the Tom Aspinalls. You always want to go against the Gane. You want to go against the Volkovs. You want to go against Sergeys. And you want to put on your best performance. But honestly, it don't matter. There's never been a time where I ran from somebody else, and now is not going to be the time. And when that day comes where I got to stand in an octagon and look at another dude in the eye and fight to the death, don't fight to it.
That's super fire.
At just 25 years old, Stevenson is already a living legend in the wrestling world. He became the youngest American ever to capture Olympic gold in wrestling at the 2020 Games. On top of that, he's a 2-time NCAA champion out of the University of Minnesota and a 5-time All-American. This isn't just some athlete with potential, this is a generational talent. His MMA record currently stands at 2-0 with 2 devastating knockouts that took a combined 2 minutes. In his most recent fight under Anthony Pettis FC, he knocked out his opponent in just 24 seconds, and in his dirty boxing debut, 15 seconds, 15.
This action. Gable Stevenson dropping major bombs. Huge shots. Braden Peterson hanging on, but for how long?
Gable in the mouth, raining punches. Vicious.
Pounding and pounding vicious shots.
Peterson needs to try to defend himself or they're going to stop this fight.
The legacy of Gable Stevenson in MMA begins.
During his recent appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, and by the way, Rogan is absolutely in love with this kid's potential, Stevenson laid out his perfect UFC debut plan. But it wasn't just about when he wanted to fight, it was about who he thinks he can beat. Stevenson revealed his dream scenario: rack up 1 or 2 more regional wins in the first half of 2026, sign with the UFC, and then make his octagon debut at the historic UFC White House event on June 14th in Washington, D.C. That alone would be massive.
Gable mixing it up, single leg snag, pulls him down.
There is the power. Dropping major bombs. Huge shots. Braden Peterson hanging on, but for how long?
Gable in the mouth, raining punches. Vicious.
Pounding and pounding vicious shots.
Peterson needs to try to defend himself or they're going to stop this fight.
The legacy of Gable Stevenson in MMA begins tonight.
Holy smokes.
Now, for those who don't know, Tom Aspinall is no joke. He's widely considered one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet. He's got knockout power, submission skills, and he moves like a middleweight despite being 250 plus pounds. For a guy with only 2 MMA fights to his name to call out the champion, that's either supreme confidence or absolute insanity. Here's where this story goes from interesting to absolutely wild. UFC legend Matt Brown, a guy who's been in there with the absolute best, a guy who knows what it takes to compete at the highest level, came out on the Fighter vs. the Writer podcast and made a statement that has the entire MMA world doing a double take. Brown didn't just say Stevenson has potential. He didn't just say he could be good someday. No, Matt Brown said, and I quote, "He could be champion literally today. I'd pick him to beat the champion today, keeping it real." Brown went even further, saying, "If he went in and fought Tom Aspinall or Cyril Gane or whoever is the champion, I don't think there's a chance anyone has against him. I wouldn't put my money against it if they fought tomorrow."
He could be champion literally today. I think if he went in and fought Tom Aspinall or Cyril Gane or whoever was a champion, I don't think there's a chance anyone has against him. I mean, obviously you always have a chance in MMA, but I think he could be champion tomorrow. I'd pick him to beat the champion today. Keeping it real.
Yeah, I mean he's a monster, and so yeah,
I wouldn't put my money against it if they fought tomorrow.
His reasoning? Stevenson's athletic ability is just that rare, especially in the heavyweight division. Brown pointed out that you'd need someone at Daniel Cormier's level, a former 2-division champion and Olympic-level wrestler himself, to even have a chance against Stevenson. Now, before anyone jumps down my throat, let me be clear. Schaub absolutely acknowledges that Jon Jones is the greatest fighter of all time when it comes to what happens inside the octagon. There's no debate there. Jones is untouchable as far as fighting ability goes.
But as I'm listening to the interview, he keeps going, yeah, Jon Jones is my mentor. And Rogan's going, what a great mentor to have, man. There couldn't be any better. What a go, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, is it?
But Schaub made a brilliant analogy that really puts this in perspective. He compared it to O.J. Simpson. Yeah, that O.J. Simpson. Schaub pointed out that O.J. was an incredible running back, rushed for 2,000 yards and won the Heisman Trophy. If you're a running back and O.J. gives you football advice, you listen. Schaub's concern is this. Gable Steveson is 25 years old. He's about to enter a world of massive fame, enormous pressure, and unlimited temptation. Does he really want someone with Jones's track record guiding him through that minefield?
Rogan had Gable Steveson on, right?
Oh, okay.
Who I'm a fan of. I think he's the next American superstar. He has some baggage. You look into that. You know, a lot of people will allude to that and say, oh, look at this. He did this. Listen, he's found innocent in a court of law. What do you want me to do?
Matt Brown actually echoed some of these concerns on his own podcast, saying probably the most important thing that Gable needs is life coaching. How's he going to deal with fame? Let's dig deeper into this Jon Jones mentorship situation, because it's not all black and white. And look, there's value in that. Jones knows what it's like to be at the absolute pinnacle of the sport. He knows the pressure, the expectations, the mental games. If anyone can prepare Steveson for what's coming, it's someone who's been there.
Gable has everything that it takes. One of my teammates got injured sparring with me, and Gable was like, I'll go in. I'm like, Gable, you might want to learn how to block and, you know, defend yourself first. It can be a lot more difficult than what it seems. But that let me at that moment know that he is very game. I need him in the face at one of his very first practices. He ate it, and he looked like a little kid, like he just developed a new toy. It's not a matter of if he'll become a UFC champion, it's when he'll be a UFC champion.
But here's the flip side that Schaub and others are worried about. Jones is notoriously someone who just did what was best for Jon Jones. He's been described as selfish, as a narcissist. He's someone who, by his own admission, didn't always train as hard as he should have because his talent was just that good. Brendan Schaub made another great point. Jones would show up a week before a world championship fight, barely trained, and still win. That's not normal. That's not replicable. And if Steveson tries to follow that blueprint, it could be disastrous.
I mean, I've said this from the jump. Greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. Jon Jones, as far as the octagon goes, is the greatest I've personally ever seen in practice, inside the octagon. I've been on several cards with him. My first UFC fight ever, I was the main event. He was the co-main event. That was the Matt Hamill incident, right? For the tough finale against Roy Nelson.
There were multiple occasions in the midst of the time spent together where Jones and I argued about fighting each other in a boxing match, to which I agreed to do, if it's just boxing. We also, and the one that caught fire the most was the wrestling thing, because I said that I would wrestle him in Real American Freestyle Wrestling and I would beat him. That stems from Jon earlier saying, I would wrestle Daniel in a exhibition or a grappling match for charity. That was something he said prior. Luis, find that, clip that, throw that in the video so that the people see that I'm not making it up. I'm not making this up. There's a desire, right? Regardless of the respect for the fighting ability, there's a desire to compete against each other in something. This is the world champion, Islam Makhachev. He knows. I mean, it's really hard to understand that even at 46 years old, 46, I still coach wrestling. I still wrestle 3 days a week with the kids. I'm still drilling. I'm still doing moves. I don't understand how this idea that I could lose a wrestling match is out there. But I guess we can find out. And guess what? I'm not the only one talking about a wrestling match between Jon Jones and I. I'm just the only one doing it publicly. Stay tuned, because if he steps on that line, I'm taking this dude 10-0, like I said. And watch the reality. Watch out global. It was interesting.
Daniel Cormier sends a clear warning message to Jon Jones, sending the loudest message possible. Then DC, Jon's response was explosive. We're enemies for life, and he called him a dickhead to his face.
DC, and I'm sure John too, have back issues.
Probably been at Popeyes more than
Hey, don't talk about dog like that. Don't do that. And have back issues. So, my man, this ain't gonna be just that easy.
If it comes down to wrestling, it's DC, bro.
You're saying hands down it's DC.
Yeah. Daniel would be super hard to score because he's short. You don't know how to pull him. And the fact that DC's in the wrestling every single day. You're telling me you got John Jones?
I'm not telling you anything. All I'm saying is people sleep on just how talented John Jones. I believe John Jones could have been a multiple-time Division I champion. John Jones was that good at wrestling. They fought. And yes, I understand that's just fighting, that's MMA, but when it came down to that wrestling exchange, John is no slouch.
And here's the bombshell. John versus DC face-to-face for the third time is almost official because DC recently accepted John's fight challenge, but only in boxing. So with John Jones now free from the UFC, is he ready to fight DC in boxing, or will he re-sign with the UFC? There's a 90% chance this fight is happening, and we're breaking down everything right now.
What's going on? It's good to hear your voice, man. How are you?
Great, I'm doing great. Is Daniel here too?
Daniel is alongside me, yes.
All right, what's up, DC?
What's up, John?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
That's good, that's good.
All right, I just have one question for you.
Yeah.
So,
DC, I got a question for you. How are you doing, man? How's life fighting?
No, I mean, it's good. My life is going really well. Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to say, Daniel, I'm super proud of the way life is turning out for you, man. I think it's awesome. Congratulations with everything you got going. Your students all the best as well.
And your development seems to be going great too, and that's very encouraging. So a lot of people look up to you. So make sure you continue to do that.
Yep, I'm on it.
You guys have anything to say?
Thank you. It's good to talk to you with this energy instead of the way we usually are. This is profession. So thank you for your time, Daniel. And John, you as well.
Thank you, brother. We'll see you tomorrow, if not sooner. Have a good night, all right?
All right, guys. Take care.
You too.
That was cool.
That was so much class.
Oh man, what a stuffy, just dickhead Cormier really is. I think if you really get to know Daniel Cormier, he's really not.
Yeah, it was nice.
He's an asshole. He was an asshole. I mean, he didn't really connect with any of the fighters here. He's just an asshole. I tried to make peace with him many times, and he made it very clear that he wants to be enemies for the rest of his life because how lucrative it is. He's a dickhead. You know, you look at the way that he treats his staff members. He brought like 10 yes men out with him and literally, go get me my water. Where's my this? Why is that this? It was just, he just bosses guys around. He wasn't very sociable with the people on set. He's just a dickhead. I think people that really work with him knows that. But the one thing I do know is that I made him cry in front of the world. I took him off of the list of being considered one of the greatest fighters of all time. He'll be even lower in the rankings of the greatest heavyweight of all time because my prospect, Gustafsson, is going to be 3 times the champion Daniel Cormier ever was. He'll just always be in my shadow one way or another.
The war between John Jones and Daniel Cormier has been raging for over a decade. These two UFC legends have given us unforgettable moments, brutal knockouts, and personal attacks that went beyond the sport. And just when we thought it was over, it's back and bigger than ever. All right, let's start with the warning that started it all.
I think it'd be great to have Daniel Cormier a part of this show. Obviously, him and I have a rough history. I know he doesn't like me very much, me beating him twice, but I think him coming out here to Thailand, filming with me, would be a great opportunity for us to mend this jacked up relationship. But I have no problems with him. I think, if anything, him coming out here would give us both an opportunity to maybe start a friendship.
After years of tension, Daniel Cormier and John Jones recently came face-to-face again while filming LF Reality, a Russian MMA reality show similar to The Ultimate Fighter. They were coaching opposite teams in Thailand, and let me tell you, things got heated.
This one Daniel Cormier does very well. He'll be here with you. He'll come with an overhand right. As soon as you bring your hand up to block the overhand right, he's coming with a high drop with his left arm. It'll look like this. I'll be here with coach. I'll hold my overhand right and immediately into this high cross.
Following the filming, DC came out guns blazing on his YouTube channel with a crystal clear message for Jon Jones. And I quote, "Real American freestyle wrestling is gonna see me and Jon Jones at some point, and I'm gonna kick his ass like you would never believe." DC didn't stop there. He continued, "Because guess what? I still shoot. I still train wrestlers every single day, so I don't have a problem shooting."
That I would wrestle him in Real American Freestyle Wrestling and I would beat him. That stems from Jon earlier saying, I would wrestle Daniel in a exhibition or a grappling match for charity. That was something he said prior. Luis, find that, clip that, throw that in the video so that the people see that I'm not making it up. I'm not making this up. There's a desire, right? Regardless of the respect for the fighting ability, there's a